Welcome everyone. We have Jen here today to speak about Lemony Shenanigans. JenJenGundamFan has been running events since the days of Girl Scouts and has always had a knack for putting things together easily. After running a girls' camp for 6 years, it was natural to run a fandom event and seemed the right thing to do to bring our small community together and to all have fun together, no matter the pairing or the story. And she loves how we all rally together and to get LS going. And if it wasn't for the community, Lemony Shenanigans wouldn't be where it is today. So thank you, Jen. I will progress the slides for you. I will share my screen, and then if anyone in the audience has any questions, please hold until the end because it can be very distracting. I'm kidding because we have a friend here that enjoys to
chat shit.
Chat shit, yes. All right. Do you see the screen?
I do see the screen.
Okay. Yeah. Here we go.
I also approve that you've branded it accordingly.
All right. Well, thank you everyone for being here. It is, may you please click the button? Shenan-again! Yay! Clap, round of applause.
Clap.
Lemony Shenanigans by me, JenJenGundamFan.
An autobiography.
So what is Lemony Shenanigans? Well, I'm here to tell you today. It's a Gundam Wing fan event. It runs from in every May since 2021, and I am here until it probably dies down or when no one else wants to do it again. But it's here for a so it's every May and it's a month long. So between May 1st through May 31st is when everyone submits all of their art or fan stories or whatever. And even Diane this year made a fan, what is it?
AMV
music video. It was amazing. Like, I love it. And this year I want to do like mood boards or whatever. I want to get more into everyone doing anything that they want to do. Anyways, so smut is not required. It is, however, a smut worthy month, but we like our palette cleansers. So, it's really nice to, have a couple of non-smut stories or artwork or whatever, throughout the month. I mean, I wrote a couple of non-smut throughout the years, and it's fun. There's no word count, so you could write 300 words, 50 words. It could just be an exchange, and that's it. Nothing. There's no limits, except one, no pedophilia. There's no pairing restrictions whatsoever, though I do like to make sure that it's not like, the Hiro and Relina show where everyone just shows up and, writes a bunch of Hiro and Relina, because we don't want that. I would love to see a bunch of pairings, and I feel like Lemony Shenanigans really started the whole like rare pair type of pairings, because I mean, it didn't start, right? But I feel like a bunch of people just decided, hey, I've been wanting to write this pairing for a while, but I haven't gotten around to it, so I'm gonna do it.
It's a signal boost for rare pairs.
Yeah, it is a boost for rare pairs. I mean, I love it. It's so amazing.
An exploration. It gives you that kind of month of to be able to explore anything. And we've seen that with experimental. She's had Oz officers before.
Yes. Alex and
yes, Alex and Mueller.
Yeah. I mean, it's great. I love how people are just so creative, and it just brings out so many different things that people just normally wouldn't write or read. And anyways, we'll get there. And it's fun only. You know, if anyone is stressed out, I say drop. You know, I'm not one for, well, you signed up, so you have to commit. No, for whatever reason, if you're not having fun anymore, if you're too stressed out in real life, like, it is no commitment whatsoever. You're just having fun. And if you're not having fun, then there's always next year. Or in some cases, some people dropped out, but then they decided that they could do it and came back in the middle of May saying, hey, I actually got this done. Can I post? And I'm like, sure. So that was a lot of fun too. And there is only one requirement in Lemony Shenanigans. It must have one post a day. So meaning, what I do is I make a calendar 2 weeks before the month of May, and everyone has a set day that they're going to post. So a lot of times,
Sorry, I didn't.
excuse you, Siri. A lot of times I ask people if they want a specific date, like someone wanting May the 5th or May the 4th.
Be with
You know,
you.
like
With you.
May the
Mhm,
4th
yeah.
be with you. You know, I mean, it could be
And May
like
the
Star
5th
Wars
is
theme.
Buffet Day.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or it could be like Buffet Day, or I think like
Like the hardcore hero buffet days would love the 15th.
oh, I know.
That's
Oh,
1-5. Yeah.
yeah.
Mm-hmm. I think someone did for their birthday. You know, they wanted to post on their birthday, so
I would
they
do that. I would do that.
yeah,
But for clarity, if you participate and you contribute to this, you don't have to create 31
No.
separate works.
no,
It's one main offer that you then schedule.
exactly. So it is not you specifically writing 31 separate stories. It is one day for you.
So last
and-
year we had more than 31 stories, correct?
Yes.
Like we had quite a few going on each day.
Yes.
So
So
it's
we
not
have,
it's
so
not everybody doing it all at once.
no. It turns out that, well, we'll get there. We'll get
Fair.
there. So that's the only one thing that I ask. So what does LS mean to me? So LS is very much a passion project. I love the community. I love bringing people together. You know, I get very overwhelmed in large crowds, and you may not see me in a lot of the Discord, but I'm there and I love it, and I love seeing people interact with each other. I'm more of a let's get everyone together and then here you go type of person, rather than actually mingling a lot. But I love that everyone enjoys Lemony Shenanigans. So community is a big thing for me. Friendship. I've connected with so many people throughout the years, and especially like Kiko, who did this art piece. She and I mean, she just came back into the community, and then she made so many friends through Lemmy Shenanigans, and then started, you know, going to other communities in the Gundam Wing Discord groups. And it's just like, it's so amazing. I just love the friendship that people build throughout Lemony Shenanigans. And finally, exploration. Because if it wasn't for the Mueller and Alex story, I would have never considered reading any fan fiction of them. I mean, even like Danny's Wu Fei and Duo story, you know, I'm a very simple-minded person. I just go to what I enjoy. But really, honestly, Lemony Shenanigans makes me explore other possibilities. And then I tiptoe my way into other pairings, other things that I might not have liked and or thought that I would have liked. So, and I think that's true to other people, because I know a lot of people who read my 1R fix or my 2H fix, and I'm like, wow, I never thought that they would read something like that. And that's really cool that they supported me too. So I think a lot of people just do that. Anyways, lessons I've learned. Well, okay. I always aim high, but I don't think anyone should get discouraged if nothing works out, because I always aim too high every year and almost maybe nothing ever really gets done except for the main things. But you know what? It's okay, because there's always next year. People are having fun regardless. So don't stress. That's a big thing that I mean, like, I stress sometimes, but I just take a breath and I'm just like, you know what? It's a free event. Everyone's having fun. I shouldn't stress. Nothing gets accomplished with stress. And there's always next year. I always tell myself there's always next year that I could do this, you know? That's always a good one. So tips and tricks in planning an event. So ask for help, because that's key. I never used to really ask for help, and now this year last year I asked for help, but this year I asked for more help, and it was so much better in planning and everything. So
I think that's like a real key thing for doing
yes.
any kind of fandom events, because you always have this little thing in your head being like, you decided to do this, you better like you better do it all, you better like fly
Yeah.
this solo. um but
But
yeah, I think
people are
yeah,
so like passionate about things too, and they're like, yeah, I'll help you. And it's great. I love it.
yeah,
I think a lot of
yeah, and
times
I
too, we think that people aren't wanting to help us or willing to help us when they absolutely are. We just have to ask.
Mm-hmm.
mm,
Because they won't know if you need help.
Hmm.
yeah, and I think sometimes it's just like giving up a little bit of control as well. Sometimes, you know, you've come up with this beautiful baby of a fandom project, and sometimes you have to let them walk out a little bit out of your grasp to
Exactly.
really
Just like
reach
trays,
their
just
potential.
put it on the
Yeah, yeah.
pier.
Oh
No,
man.
don't put it on the pier.
Put it
Don't
on the
drown the
pier,
baby.
see if it comes back.
Um, so be more present. So I feel like in when I'm in Lemony Shenanigans mode, I feel like I'm more present in fandom, and I'm more talkative and more aware of what's happening. And that's good, because your then event will be more successful if you're present than if you just are like, okay, see you later. Like Trey's like, oh, just let the child be, it won't drown. You know, no, like you got to be more present. Like, can't just let the baby walk off the pier. Promote, but don't be annoying about it. There are people out there that promote the crap out of all of their events, and I'm like, I get it. Okay, whatever. And also, I feel like if you promote too much, it'll be kind of uh what's the word? I feel like people won't,
Alienate people?
well, not alienate, but like
Overhyped?
overhyped. But there's like if you always see it, then people will kind of just forget about it. But if you
Mm.
Oh, overexposure. Like people
over,
just kind of
yes, yes, yes,
it's the same with adverts, right? As soon as you start to see it creeping up on the scroll on your dash, you just zip straight past because you're like, ugh, seen that.
exactly. And I feel like with Lemony Shenanigans, I always promote the first time I have my signups, then I have like midway signups, and then the final signups. And I feel like first signups, I get a ton of people. And then midway signups, I have, a trickle of people. And then the last minute signups are like, oh, holy crap, like I have to sign up for that. Whereas if I'm
Mm.
posting constantly, I don't think there would be as many people signing up in one chunk if it
Mm.
was, you know, not anyways. So
Our rule of thumb for the zine was you post when you have something to tell people.
yes,
And if you've got no new information, shut up.
Mhm. Yeah, exactly. Spreadsheets, list goals, and Google Forms is your friend. I can attest to my spreadsheets, and I always have a list of goals for next year rolling up in the middle of Lemony Shenanigans the current year. So what I could do better next year, or what I'm thinking, oh man, like this would be really cool for next year, because you're in the middle of an event, you can't really change its form at the present, but I always have those lists rolling as we're going. And even today I looked at some of my goal list for next year. I'm like, oh yeah, this would be great. And I wrote something down today too. So it's always going. All right. What LS has become? So as you can see, if you look down at the bottom, Lemony Shenanigans 2023, there was 36 participants and 52 works. I mean, a lot of people did so much this year. If we continue, we look up at Lemony Shenanigans 2021, and there was 27 participants and 36 people, or 36 works happened. But then in 2022, we had 28 people sign up, 40 works. So it just keeps growing and growing and growing. And I have to say, the first event that I did, which I will not name, but it wasn't Lemony Shenanigans, I had 20 participants and 28 works. So it just, I mean, out of 4 years of hosting events, it just keeps growing. And I love it. I love how popular it's getting. So comments like these make me keep going. So, you know, I had a end of the year or end of LS year a survey, and I asked what was something this year or in past years that people really enjoyed. And I just love seeing people enjoy this event, because I always worry and stress out, like, "Ugh, are people having fun? Are people, like getting sick of LS, or, well, yada, yada, yada." But no, I mean, it's just, it's amazing how, my easygoing nature is affecting this event too. And people love it, and they love the Discord community, and that someone could join late, because I don't care, like, if you want to join whenever, you can join whenever. I just love that people enjoy this event so much. And thus, Lemony Shenanigans will continue in the year 2024, and signups open in January. And is there any questions? Did I go over it?
I have a couple of questions as
Yeah,
the
yeah.
unelected voice piece of the masses. Where do we find you to sign up? Like, where will announcements appear in the greater ether of the
Oh,
Gundam
that's a
Wing
great
fandom?
question. So we have a Tumblr page, and also I had a couple people suggest going on Twitter. So we'll do Twitter this year, or this coming year.
Well, not.
You mean
Pending.
X?
Pending. Oh yes, X, I forgot. Pending. But then
Maybe we could do some, like, hosting some work on Instagram too.
yes, and I was gonna try and do
Sorry.
an oh no. And then also I'm gonna post in the respected Discord groups too. So
Okay. So generally speaking, if you're part of one of the Discord groups, you'll probably stumble across you at the
yes.
right time.
Yes, exactly.
Another question, when
Yes.
people are posting, so I saw you've got collections, which is on AO3, so people can go back and find past events, and obviously future events will go there. When it's posting day, do you post them? So
No,
do we give you our works, or do you just link to wherever we've posted them out in the wider world?
that is a great question. So I pre load everyone's AO3 onto the collection. So when you are ready to post to the collection, you are good to go. So I don't have to accept the work in the collection.
Okay, so it's like a kind of like a pre-approved membership. So you say, okay, my handle is Odomaki. So you say, okay, Odomaki is a-okay to post anything she likes
In this
in the
blog.
Lemony Shenanigans 2024 group.
Yes, that's correct.
Cool.
Yeah. So it's really easy. Before I didn't know that, I mean, it's been years in like figuring out the AO3 collections, but now the last couple of years I've been preloading everyone so I don't have to go and approve it because people are like, hey, I posted, but I don't see my work. And then I go on to AO3, I'm like, oh, I have to accept the work.
Yeah, the AO3 logistical wrangling can sometimes be a bit of a learning curve.
Yeah,
Like all the stuff's there, but like knowing that it's available, it can sometimes be a bit out of sitting down and Googling, isn't it?
exactly.
Um, I had another question. So it's not just fanfic then, even though it's on AO3, you can post art because you can post art on AO3 now as long as you can post it somewhere else. I think you can post animated GIFs now on AO3. And if you know your HTML, I think you can even embed a video on AO3. And you can also, I've definitely done this, post audio on AO3. So it's multimedia, right?
It is multimedia. Traditionally, it's in the past, it's only been fan art and fan fiction, but um, it is multimedia. It's whatever you really want to do. It could be mood boards, it could be anything. I'm gonna encourage people to do, kind of whatever creative stuff they want.
So if you
Um,
have a burning desire to build a life-size trays out of macaroni, all good.
yes, exactly.
Perfect. Love that.
All right, I have a few questions.
Yes.
So can people do like you were talking about, rare pairs and different pairings? Can they do the same pairing like multiple times?
Oh, like last year you did the same pairing.
Pretend I don't know you. Shush, shush.
Oh, is this box propagating
This
the
is
buffet catcher agenda,
no.
which I have
Maybe I
no way
am.
invested in early.
Um,
No way
so
do we have fics that correspond with each other in this manner, in the least.
okay,
Let Jen speak.
so to
Yes.
answer your question, you can have the same pairing, whatever. The last 4 years I have written Duo and Hildy, because I love them. So I'm gonna write about them. So there's no limit to, oh, you did that last year, you can't do that pairing this year. The only reason why I was surveying the pairings in the past was I didn't want it to be, the Duo and Hero show. I didn't want people to just overload the whole LS month with just one pairing. I wanted a mixture
Mm.
of representation of all of the Gundam
And that
wing,
could be really any pairing. You didn't
any
want,
pairing at all.
right,
Yeah.
not
Kathy,
just,
And
Dorothy, Relina and Hildy. It's whatever pairing you want. I just didn't want it to be just the one pairing. Like even if it was, Hiro and Troa all day,
yeah.
every day. That's
Mhm.
great, but I don't want that for the entire month. I want it
So
to
like
be
the water is wet statement is we're not anti any pairing. We're not saying, oh no, we just don't really want that. It's just that occasionally with signups, and I've seen this many times in many fandoms over the years, people tend to default to just like the safe one to submit, particularly if they're new to an event, right?
right.
Everyone just kind of like goes to a default, and it's to try and just encourage people to maybe try something new or go outside of their comfort zone, or just actually give them permission to be like, hey, fly your freak flag high. We want to see it.
Yeah. Um, Yeah, it's just to encourage people to, do things that they normally wouldn't do. But if they don't want to, I mean, that's fine too. I mean, I think this year we had more duo and hero fix, but that's fine because I mean, it wasn't the whole month. There was still a smattering of every other pairing out there. There's always going to be a character that is more popular than everyone else. Like last year, it was Troa. Troa
Yeah.
won by a landslide. I mean, he was with everyone. And
We
I
need to
love,
have a Wu Fei year.
oh my gosh, yes, we
I
do.
think you need to start doing like little awards at the end, like who was the fandom bicycle this month?
Right? Oh my gosh, that's a great idea.
Put
When,
it
oh,
on the
when will it be
list.
Dex's turn? I mean, it's
Putting
in
it on
his
the list.
name, right? He should yeah. We should start promoting that.
I'm putting that on the list. I'm totally because everyone always talks about like who was the most popular this year. Even though I had asked in the past who was doing what pairing, I'm no longer gonna do that because everyone I feel like respects the way that LS is, and they know that, hey, I'm going to go out of my comfort level this year,
Well, and it makes sense because you're growing as well. So that means
Exactly.
more in the pot.
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like it's never been a problem throughout the years. I never had to ask people like, hey, we have too many of one pairing. We gotta cut it down. Because the too many of
Yeah.
one pairing has been like, what, 10 out of 50? I mean, that's like, nothing.
Mhm.
It's 1/5, but statistically, yeah, not a big deal. And I feel as well there's there's this kind of latency recency effect as well. Like if people are really into something and they maybe wrote it last year, they might think about doing something different next year. So if you've got the same people coming back year on year, they're gonna switch things up eventually, unless they're a real diehard fan, which is also fine.
Oh, true. True.
So I have just a couple other
Like,
questions. Oh, sorry. Go on.
no, I was just gonna point to you, Box, and say we sometimes need diehard fans for some of those rare pairs. So I
Yeah,
need
yeah.
my I
We
need my
need
fix, so you're
how
not allowed to
many?
stop.
How many 500? Like we need 500 more for of Catcher and Wu Fei
Yeah,
to
yeah.
enter the list. That's easy. We can figure that out. We'll get there.
It's only
We'll get there.
250 each
There's
in the
no
Yeah, yeah,
next
word
yeah,
year.
limit.
yeah. That's good. We could get a couple other people to come along, I'm sure. Um, all right. So you're talking about the server and the event. You do both and you run both. How do you balance that? Like, how do you feel like, does one pull more than the other? Like, is it harder or do you have to, especially since it is growing and there is so much enthusiasm in there?
Like running the server and also
Yeah, and the event.
oh, okay.
Because you're wearing all the hats. You're wearing many
Yeah.
hats.
So the server is pretty much it's so easy to run because people are so respectful, thankfully. And especially since it's grown, people are more I feel like people if something is said in a server and I'm not there, they just kind of take it to DMs. But we
Okay.
really haven't had anything that happened in the server in the last couple of years, which is good. And then also I have the blessings of my helpers that volunteer to help with the server as well. So they monitor the server. But it's easy because I can communicate with everybody all at once on the Discord server to let them know about the calendar and about what's upcoming. And we do fandom events inside, like
Yeah, those are fun. Those are a
yeah,
lot of
like
fun.
duo day, everyone dress up as duo or wear your duo pride or do something duo related
Yeah,
or
we always do signups in January after the first, which would be Hero Day. So Hero never gets a day.
yeah.
We
Well,
do
I mean
do Duo
also
Day, Troa Day, Catcher Day, and then we're off and
and then
running.
with my day.
Yeah, with A Day.
Yeah.
Do
Well,
people
if we
need
don't
to
get
join the
too many.
server?
So,
to participate?
so in the past, yes, but there was a couple people who said that they wanted cheerleaders. So who knows? I might open the server up to people who don't really want to participate, but are excited to see what everyone has to offer. Though I kept it closed so that way it's a surprise for everyone who is excited for Lemony Shenanigans, but we don't really want to spoil the surprise on
Mm-hmm.
snippets and stuff. But
Mm.
well, I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I don't
Yeah.
know. I'll have to ask people next year if they want to have people join in who
Well, I
isn't.
mean, like if, say somebody wants to join and participate in LS, but they don't want to join the server. Let's say like, oh, I'm too
Oh, yeah.
nervous. It's my first year. Maybe it's a little too much for me.
I have
Um,
3 people usually that always never joins the server. And I just email them.
okay.
And I just when I do announcements on the server, I go to my email and copy and paste and say, "Hey, this is what I said in the server today."
I have 2 questions.
Yes.
I'm going to ask them both together because I'll forget the second one if I don't.
Okay.
Memory of a fly. Um, First one is the server open year round, or does it just appear like a spring mushroom when it's running in January and then disappear after the conclusion of the 31st? So that's question one. Does it run all the time? And my second question is, do you have a content embargo? So if I create something, it's not allowed to be hinted at, spoiled, or anything ahead of it actually being posted in May.
Those are 2 great questions. So the first question, is the LS Discord server running year round? Yes, it is now because of the main Discord server closing. I asked
My
everyone,
apologies.
and it's fine. No, it's completely fine. I asked everyone if they wanted to keep the server open, and they said yes. So we don't really talk. It's mainly just kind of sharing pictures occasionally, but it is mostly it is open in January and it runs through the middle of June and then it closes. And I usually would delete everyone and start over again. That has not happened because I want to make sure that I can reach people in the future instead of having to email everyone again. Because I do have everyone's email addresses, but then it's a pain in the butt. I rather just sit at everyone and say, "Hey, we're back open,"
Yeah.
But there is 2 chats. There's like a photo so people can share what they've been doing this summer and just like a general chat, but no one's really chatted. And it's also summer too, so
It is summer, yeah.
I'm sure I will be chatting with people pretty soon to see what I'm gonna ask questions for LS next year soon. So then the second question was now I have a memory of a fly. I'm sorry.
It was the embargo.
Oh yes.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I've never asked people to not share, but I mean, if it's just one work, yeah, I think it's just because we share amongst ourselves. People don't really share in other servers. So I've never really asked people to not share their work. I think it's just happened naturally. But if they want to share a snippet, it's fine. I mean, I have no problem with that.
But for the entirety of the work, there's an embargo until your sign up day.
Yeah. I think well with Sato, she does the drawings live.
Fantastic drawings.
Yes,
What's her name? Lady Date on
I think so.
Lady_Date, I think is her AO3. If people want to check that out.
Yeah. She's amazing and she does do live art. I've never been able to view her live because it's always at random times that I can't do. But that's her work, and she doesn't show, I don't think, the final until she posts it. So, it's your work. I don't really care.
So you can share progress shots if
Yeah,
you're so inclined.
exactly.
It's all good.
Yeah. I don't think
Then
people really do, but I mean, it's your work. I don't care.
One thing I
what
like,
is your view on recycling? So if I have a piece that I've already written, maybe I shared it somewhere else a while ago, but it's not necessarily recent. Is that something I could submit, or is it new works only?
That is a very great question. So recycling works that you've already posted, it should be something that you've created for the event. Now let's say you've posted it, but a long time ago, then taken it down and re-edited or whatever and nitpicked, but haven't posted it yet. And you think that this would be a good work to present to LS, then yes, that would be fine if it's
So
nowhere. Um, but new works are a must. But
so recycling, not really. Resurrection,
yeah,
necromancy on old stuff you wrote on LJ. That's cool. Good.
let's
Yeah.
say you wrote a piece or drew a piece or mood board or whatever you did last year, but you've never posted it. And you've been kind of nitpicking or whatever, but never posted it. And like finally you're like, you know what? I'm gonna save it for Lemony Shenanigans for next year. Totally fine too. I've written pieces a year before Lemony Shenanigans, and then I just post it in that time frame because a lot of times I don't have time to write anything while I'm hosting the event. So
so
it
you
works.
don't have to write it right in like before May when when the signups, you could write it ahead of time.
Yes, you
So
could
you
work
could
on it
take all
all
of
year.
you could take all of your half finished works in progress, like one shots from the last 20 years, and just boom, 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 polish them off, get them off
Exactly.
out into the world.
Yes. You
I have another question which has just
yes.
occurred to me because there's another common question I've seen elsewhere. What about multi-chapter fanfics? Are they a
Great.
goer, or are
So
we looking more at the one and done?
people are very great. They have posted like 20 chapters, or I don't know. I may be exaggerating, but I don't think so. I forget who it was that posted a really great story, and it was so long. And they did it in like 4 months, and I was so impressed. And they did it throughout the entire month. They just posted each chapter, and we broke it up every couple of days. But it does not have to be a completed fan work. So if you are breaking it up in chapters, you can just post the first chapter in the month of May. You do not have to complete the story in Lemony Shenanigans. Now there are
There is
people who,
always next year.
yeah, there
Yes,
are
and some
people
people do that.
do
Some
that.
people will wait till next year to post the next part. Yeah.
Or there are some people who have done a one shot and then they're like, you know what, I want to do a sequel to that one shot. So then they post the next year that sequel to that one shot from Lemony Shenanigans a year ago.
Ah, I love that. That's
Yeah,
nice because because then you get to go back to last year and reread the first bit, and
Exactly.
it's like an extra snack.
hmm
what I like about Lemonade Shenanigans too is that you can ask for a beta, but if you don't want a beta, it's, you don't have to, it's not pushed on you. But if you really do want an extra set of eyes, people are always helpful to take a look over your work and see, what can be cleaned up.
And let's say that you don't know anyone. Let's say you're brand new to the fandom or to Lemony Shenanigans and you don't really know anybody to really ask for a beta. I help people get connected. So in one of the signups, I asked, do you need a beta? Yes, no, or maybe. And then when it comes time to, do you really need a beta? then a month out, I connect people who need that extra set of eyes. So you don't even have to stress about, oh, who should I ask? I'm the one that sets people up.
Perfect.
And if you want to just, stream of consciousness, pour it onto the page, slap it into AO3 and hit go, that's okay too?
Perfectly fine. We die like trades.
That's
No,
that's my style, Lemon.
Just type it straight into AO3, no spell check. We
just go.
die like we face colony. I don't know.
Oh, too
Ooh.
soon. Too soon.
Too soon. I'm sorry. I couldn't, for a fandom with lots of canonical deaths in it, I couldn't actually think of another character who died.
You're like Catra. Wait, no. Troa. Wait, no. Hero. No. That baby. No.
Nope, the baby survived. The crucial
Baby
part
was
of the
good.
plot.
All right. Well, Lemon, do you have any other questions?
No, I have run out of all of my devil's advocate questions.
Perfect. We hope to see you next year at Lemony Shenanigans. There's
I'm inspired. I am
Jen said,
inspired.
yeah. Jen
I
said
feel like I
it's
know a lot more about the event now, which I didn't really know before and perhaps didn't appreciate before. So
yeah.
I will, as ever, I will consider it, and then Box will have to bully me across the finish line.
As I am willing to do, as always.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's a very fun event. Like Jen said, there's even events within the event. We do cooking with lemons. We do
not you, Lemon.
I love cooking with Lemon. I am Lemon. I do
you
cooking.
do. You do cooking. So you would love it. Like, people who don't cook like me, will just take pictures of bakery deliciousness. Like, hey, look I found a lemon cake. I ate it. It was good.
So that's
Or
my
Or
whatever.
event.
clothing or citrus clothing.
Citrus clothing, yeah. So it's a fun, it's a really good environment. It's very positive. Everybody has good vibes that they're bringing, and again, too, Jen is one of the easiest peasiest people that I've ever worked with events, to where it's like, Jen, I can't do it this day. I said I'd sign up. And Jen will be like, no problem. We'll take care of it. If you can do something, great. If you can't, great too. Easiest peasiest,
It's
like,
so low key.
and so I really encourage people to take a look at it, think about it. Like I said, it's just a lot of fun. It's just a fun thing to do. I just think it's neat.
Well, thank you, Box.
So with that, I'm going to stop this recording, and I'm going to stop the share.